Oh yeah, yeah. It was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, and then we have a power. Okay, good. Is it the new one or? Yeah, it's, thank you. So my ooh, yeah, can you? Oh, oh,
All right, guys, we're just about ready to get started. So we have a bit of a special guest visiting us today. He's coming all the way from Poland, and he was kind enough to spend some time with us tonight to share some of the things that he's been working on. And today will be fairly interactive, so feel free to interrupt him if you have any questions. And this is going to be a live coding session where we'll see some cool things going on in Spark. Take it away, Jessica.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'm in the middle of a 4-day workshop about Scala and Spark. So pardon my voice if I start if I stop talking, even though my mouth will be moving around and so okay. So so thank you for having me here today. I'm gonna share what I learned so far about Apache Spark and Scala. I started with Spark because I needed a project, fully working and acceptable project, open source project where I could, learn Scala from. So I picked Kafka first, but they decided, when I started, looking at the code, source code, I saw that they are moving from SBT to Gradle. And since I was, at the time, I'm still SBT lover. I enjoy working with SBT. If you've got any questions about SBT, please feel free to ask me. So I started looking at what they're doing, and when they moved to Gradle, I hated them. So I stopped looking at the source code, and I looked around for any other open source project. And I'm a ASF Apache Software Foundation member. So I looked around and I found Spark. The momentum was growing at the time. It was nearly over 200 days ago. So I saw that Spark is gaining momentum, and it sparked my interest to look into the source code. And I saw they doing Scala. So I said, okay, let me look at the source code of Apache Spark. So after a while, I just realized that I picked well, because now I see the wave is growing, and I'm at the right moment. So now I'm here. I'm sharing what I learned so far about Apache Spark, and since it's 200 days with Apache Spark, I hope I'll share something that you find useful. I'm Jacek Laskowski, and I'm independent consultant. And the reason I'm independent, I think I'm independent. I need money for my living, so I'm partially independent. But some of my decisions are independent, and one of the many reasons I think I made independent, or I made myself, was to spend my time with Apache Spark. And I literally spent over 200 days, day by day, looking at the source code of Apache Spark, and and I enjoyed it. So I'm independent consultant because I need to make my independent decisions, but also because I need to switch between projects from one project to another to see different use cases where Apache Spark is used. So I love very short-term projects, like month. It's too long for me. I got bored pretty easily. That's why I left corporations, because meetings were boring, and I didn't like talking to people about stuff they don't like, they hate, and stuff like this. So I became independent, and now I'm with one company. Perhaps in a month or 2 months I'll be with another company, because I need to train myself. I need to train my eyes to see use cases for Apache Spark. So, and through Apache Spark, I learned, about Hive, Hadoop, which I've never worked with before I started working with Spark. So so you can contact me at, Jacek Yapila.pl. It's my own company, personal company. At one day, it's gonna be like IBM or Apple. I don't know. This is my wish, my hope. So follow me at Twitter, as Jacek Laskowski, and I'm delivering, development and training services around Apache Spark and Scala and SBT, perhaps Kafka, Cassandra, and all the ecosystem around Spark. And I'm also a leader of 2 meetups. And the reason I created these meetups was personal choice, because I needed to get faster with Apache Spark and Scala. So my thought was, I don't care about what people like. I like to be better at Scala and Spark. So I said, okay, let's schedule a first meetup, Scala and Spark meetup, because I need to talk to people who wanna know more about Apache Spark, or perhaps they already knew something I'm about to master. So that's why I'm a leader of these 2 meetups, and I'm also a Java champion. So I was appointed to this title as a Java champion after 10 years working with Java, and it was the right moment. It's recorded, right? Okay, so I need to be careful what I'm saying. So it was the right moment. It was the right moment when I was when I could get this title, because it was the moment where I decided to stop working with Java. I got bored with Java after over 10 years working since very first day of Java. So I switched to Clojure, and then I switched to Scala, because nobody cared about Clojure in my region. So I said, okay, if nobody cares about Clojure, and I needed functional programming, around me. So I said, okay, let me introduce functional programming through Scala, and then I'll tell people that that Clojure is better. But then I never looked back, and I'm with Scala. Okay, that's me. So as I said, it just my journey into Spark just started from 213 30 days and 13 days, and it was just like I just like this stripe of green bulbs or lights. So it was a game. I just started this game to light each day this yellow yellow box or greenish box. So now it's here, and I did this. I'm taking notes about what I see in Apache Spark source code, and every day, literally every day, I'm doing I'm taking notes about what I see in the source code without much thinking about if they're doing it right or wrong. I'm just following the steps. So it's like I'm in Europe. So Databricks is in San Francisco, and they've got huge development center in China or in Asia. So it's like that they literally coding like crazy. And whenever I'm up, whenever I'm awake, when I see what they change, it's like literally 10 or 20 commits. So it's like I'm chasing them every day, because they are either working in US or in Asia. I'm in Europe, so I'm it's like they are over my head every day. So that's pretty much it. That's what I needed to share with you, because I needed to set the stage, and I need to be challenged. So please ask me any questions you may have about Spark and about Scala and SBT. And to set the stage, I think nobody has a question that'd be challenging to me. Okay? Are you challenged? Okay, so let's give it a shot. Okay, so I'm at the bleeding edge of Spark. It's a latest release. I just built it today. Every morning at 6 a.m. In Canada. Today it was 6:05 a.m. In Europe it's 5:55. So I switched time zones. So I needed to accommodate. So today I just built it, and every day I build my latest and greatest Spark. So this is 2.0. that's gonna be available in in May, in beginning of May, and so they are coding like crazy right now to meet the schedule. So it's a 2.00 snapshot, and I'm at 2.11.7 Scala with the latest and greatest Java. Okay, so let me take it. Okay, good. So you see the latest and greatest of all the components. I just submitted my pull request for Scala 2.11.8, but due to some dependencies, it couldn't be accepted yet. So we are working on it. Okay, first things first. So all workshops about Spark and Scala start with RDDs, and I hate it. Why? Because you are losing your time for learning something that you are not going to use. Why? Because it's like mastering assembler to master Scala. It's like, it's helpful. Yeah, it's always nice to learn more, but given the time we can devote for Spark and other tooling, it's like wasting your time. And the reason I'm saying it is that you just start with word count, you just read your CSV file, you parse it through split, you just remembered the regular expression, and it's like SC text file and blah, blah, blah. And then you just flat map, or you just map over the collection of lines. And then you just do the split, and then perhaps you are using S, or if you're fast, you are doing like this. But there's a better way. So you can go for your regular expression, and then do something like for each Pringle. How does it look? It's like I'm coding something that's meaningful to me, but probably not much of help to you if you are not trained enough to see that code, right? So it's like me speaking Polish now. Widzicie, napisałem to, co napisałem. I jak widzicie, pewnie rozumiecie albo nie. Ja rozumiem. Okay. So I said what I said in Polish, and probably some of you may have followed, but it's not very readable. So look at this. What about if I said that in 2.0 in Spark, all you should be using are data frames or data sets? To be honest, no data frames are in the code. It's now data sets. The difference between data frames and RDDs is that RDD is an abstraction, data abstraction, resilient distributed data set. So you've got your cluster, and you spread the computation across your nodes. So you are thinking in terms of what infrastructure do I have, rather than what can I do with my data. So you want to see, your eyes are trained to see tables. They are much easier to how to say, decode. So let me start with something like hello. Yeah, you know the drill. So one world, okay, and two data frame. You know it. So I created data frame. So if I do this, you'd see what I created right away, right? So compare this line to the previous line, and you see the difference. I could have done something similar with what I achieved with data frames using this text file, flat map. I would parse this line, but why should I be wasting my time if I have these data frames? So Spark, my understanding is that Spark is moving towards data frame wherever they could put it. So now MLlib with Pipeline API. I'm not good at machine learning, so please send me questions about machine learning algorithms and logistic regression and k-means parallel. It's a mess. They are saying fitting a model for functions from data frame to data frame. They are calling estimators if they as if they couldn't call them higher order functions. So functions generating functions. Yeah, right? So this is literally machine learning. So they invented this new language just to scare people away from using nice tooling for our use cases. So now through data data frames and data sets, you can use machine learning algorithms because they are so easy to use. Without much understanding of the concepts, you can just follow the steps. They pave using API, the data frame API and pipeline API. Okay, so you can understand it, right? It's easy. Okay, what about, do you like the columns names? No, probably not. So let's change them. Oh, I'm so excited that my hands are shaking. So many cool stuff. Yeah, really. I could talk and talk. You see, it's that easy. So you've got your structure now, and it's ID and text. Good. Now let's make it our data frame. Let's select some data. Let's say we need only ID. So good. Okay, you see it, right? Just I selected some columns I needed. Think about RDDs. In RDD, you could achieve something similar, but the time it took you to achieve this would be much longer. Moreover, if you do DF, so DF is a data frame with these columns. Data frame has a schema. You can do something like show. That was something I couldn't find in docs. It's like, what? How can I assume that I can just type dot show and it's gonna work on what? And it's gonna it knows about the previous data frame I used, so it knows the context. So it's much quicker to play with data frames. Now, okay, so I can show this. Okay, good. Oh, now I just clear it. So perhaps is that I can only use the last expression. I don't know. Just I discovered it. Just discovered it a few days ago when I typed something quickly and it broke. But then I just left with this dot show and it worked. It was like, oh man, how does yeah. I don't know. And I don't care. For the time being, I don't care really. It's like it works. I can use it. So it's a hidden. It's a gem or Easter egg. Okay, I don't know. I'm just using it. Sorry. What do you mean by is it it's a luck? I've got luck, right? I'm lucky. Oh yeah. Well, so I'm lucky. Okay. So it's a show. So what about our schema? So let me see what I should be showing you. Okay. So you know that we can do something like df show. Okay. So this is the data frame was created with sequence, and I just applied schema to this collection. So I created ID and text, but then I could have also used something that the Scala developers would like. So case class, it should be final. Don't know why, but it should. Well, it's not a reason I'm not doing it for Spark. I know that case classes in Scala should be final. I cannot explain it, but I know that there is something that is waiting for you if you don't do this. So text and string. Okay. Well, case class should have a name. Okay. So let's call it my record. Okay. So I call it my record. So this is my case class. So I can do something like this. df, and then I can what I'm gonna do. I can do. Oh, let me see. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. Perhaps not. So the reason I'm showing it is that in a moment I'm gonna show you data sets. So let's forget about it for a moment, okay? So what I can do is that if I need to create a sequence of my records, so record with 1 and hello, and perhaps my record and 2 and another hello, okay? I can do 2df, and guess what? the schema is gonna be, you know, I would say, discovered through case classes. So I created, so this print schema corresponds to the types I used for my case class. It's neat. It's nice to have. Okay, good. So what else? Okay, so I can do show. You know it. And this way is you know, I'm using data frame or dataset API, query API. But hey, there are perhaps few of us are Hive developers or Hive enthusiasts. So so let's do some Hive coding. You know, I'm very weak at you know, using Hive. I'm progressing with my Hive understanding through Spark glasses. So please be with me if I'm making mistakes. They are intended. Okay, they are part of the show. Okay, so so I can just register my temp table, and I'm gonna give this data frame a name, and I'm gonna use regular Hive queries, SQL queries, just as if this data frame were part of, you know, Metastore, Hive Metastore. So let's give it a name like, I don't know. I'm just, you know, it's always like this. My grade table. Okay. Okay, I gave it a name. I name it. So now I can do something like this. I'm just applying, I'm just using Hive queries to query my data frames. Hey, let's have a look if there is, if there are some tables already registered. So show tables. Now there is one temporary table registered in local Hive Metastore. That's all I know about Hive. So, but it's a temporary table. So once I close my session, this table is gone, right? So what about, you know, persistent or non-temporary tables? Can they be created through Spark? Yes. You can just save your table, your data frames and make them persistent in Hive Metastore. But before I show it, just have a look. Knowing that you need to use SQL context with this SQL is a little bit, you know, cumbersome. Or you need to know the name of the SQL context value. What about this? Will it work? Yes. It was something like, wow, why didn't they put it in the documentation? Perhaps they are busy with the release, so they didn't have much time. But I discovered it, and I'm here just to show you some niceties of Apache Spark and Scala, and that's something I really like. I wish there was a way to just say that whenever I execute something on data frame, this .show is executed automatically. So I see, you know, the result of my expressions rather than something like this. Oh, it's not nice. Or it could be nicer if every expression .show would be executed just like this, yeah. Or it'd be nice to have it, you know, configurable. Okay, good. So Hive integration, Hive query. Okay, there is this. I just discovered just before this presentation that there is no desk for description. So let's describe my migrate table, and there is no command like this, and I didn't know about it. So you see, there's this exception. But what I found entertaining reading this exception is that I can learn what's available in Spark. So through exception, I just learned that there is no desk. There are all others, you know, commands, Hive commands, and there is this desk. Where is this? The describe, or there's something desk, or oh yeah, it's here. You see? So I can fix it right away. It works. So I can just show it. Okay, it's nice. Okay, good. Any questions? Yeah.
Is it just part 2 or is it part 1.5? Like,
I don't know. I'm at bleeding edge, latest and greatest of Spark, so it's 2.0. Perhaps I'm using features that won't be ever available because they are today. They might not be available, tomorrow or in the coming days. I don't know. I don't care. I'm having lots of fun, doing what I'm doing. And I can present all this, niceties. Yeah. So I don't really know. Yep. Without what?
Without the dot.
Well, so just show?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, let me try it. No, perhaps no. But wait a moment. Let me see. df. Okay. Show. No. No. It's not gonna work. But you could create a function show that be something like this. No, it's not. Okay, but you can come up with something crazy like this. Okay. So, but it's a nice idea. Yeah, I'm gonna work on it. Okay, there is something like you can have this non-temporary table, but stop talking about Hive. It's boring. Yeah. So data. Okay. So I'm gonna show you this data frames and data frame show. Okay. So I can query for my. So let's have a look. Where text equals and hello. Okay. Will it work? Not really. Why? Because you need to know how to reference a column in data frames. So there are 3 ways to reference the data frames, columns. First is to use $. It's nice. IntelliJ IDEA will mark it as in red, so you may get confused thinking that it's an error, but it's acceptable and it works. So this is one way to do it. Another way is through call. It's gonna work too. And there is yet another way. If there are multiple columns in one in left data frame and on the right data frame in the right data frame, you need to reference it through the name of this data frame. It's nice. Data frames are immutable data structures. You can't change them. It's just like immutable data structures in Scala. There is structure sharing under the covers, so you will like it. But if you need to modify your data structure, your data set or data frame, you do with column. And let's say you wanna name and lead Jacek. Show. Down, it works. So I just added column with column and use literal to have all the rows with this expression. Okay. What about if I needed to split my this is UDF world. So what about if I needed to create a column? Let me bring this one up. Okay. If I needed with column and I need to have split. So I'll split my my column text, okay, text column, and then I'll do it per E. Let's see if it's gonna work or not. It worked. See, so I'm using UDFs, and Hive UDFs are supported. Not sure if it's important or not. I see it all over the place, on all the slides I see about the latest and greatest Spark, they are saying that UDFs, Hive UDFs are supported. So hey, there is this split. There are plenty of other operations, functions, UDFs, but hey, you can create more UDFs if you are fancy creating new ones. Okay, I am. So let's do it. So UDF is just a function. So if you want to create a function in Scala, you do something like f and you give it int, or what about string? So string, and you return a string, and then you accept a string, or you are fancy and you do something like this. Done. Okay. So I created a function that accepts one parameter of type string and returns string. let's make it UDF. So to upper. So to upper is gonna be UDF on this F. Ta-da! I created a new UDF. So let's apply it to my upper and to upper, and then what was the name of the column? Text, I believe, and text. Ta-da! It worked. So I could talk about it and talk. It's very nice. So what about CSVs files or Parquet files or org files, or there are lots of file formats supported by data frames, so you can load your CSVs or other formats in a nice way through SQL context. Read, yeah, it's obvious. Format, CSV, then load, and then hello CSV. Now let's load my CSV file, which is here. It looks like this. What's the problem with this data frame? What's the problem? Yeah, headers. So let's fix it. So look at this. So I'll do this. So I just loaded my CSV file using very nice looking expression, and then so I created my one-liner to read CSV. Think about RDD and using text file splits and blah blah blah. It's crazy. And people are starting their journey into Spark, losing 1 day or 2 days learning about RDDs, and then the teacher or the instructor says, now you should forget about RDDs, start using data frames. Oh, what's a waste of 2 days? Well, perhaps it's not a waste, but if you've got 4 days mastering, mastering Apache Spark, it's like half your time is wasted. Okay, so let's fix it. Does anybody know how to do it? It's through option. So header, show, down, did it. So this is a latest feature of Spark 2.0. They just merged Spark CSV from Spark packages. So it's no longer separate package. You don't need to load it through command line, through packages. It's just available in Spark. Yep.
Some lines have a different schema from other lines.
Yeah.
And even in CSV, you could have a line that has an extra comma.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
So you are talking about schema evolution. So you are changing schema while having other files that belong to the previous version of schema. Is it? Yeah. Okay. Don't know how to do it. I don't know. I don't really know. So I haven't thought about it. Now I'll remember and try to describe it in my notes. Okay, so ping me offline if you need more help. I'm glad to spend more days just for you. Free of charge.
Quick answer for the JSON thing. The infer schema will cry when your struct type changes. They have a double which acts as like a tolerance, like how corrupt would your records be. So they're going to read your JSON or RDD string, sample it, infer the schema, pick the one that works, and if it happens later when you read more data, it fails, it cries.
Okay. Yeah. So what about the schema of this file, right? So let's call it CSV. So I'll close it. So I created this. So this CSV has this print schema. Look at this, all strings. Is it correct? No, it's corrupted, not correct. So let's fix it through yet another option. So this option this time is infer schema. True. Load. Down. It works. If you are not satisfied, you can change your data frame into whatever data frame you like through with column. If you don't like the name of the column, you can just do something like with, so let's bring it, so CSV with column renamed, and I give ID another name, another name like ID, and show. You see, I changed it. And this pattern is heavily used. How much time do I have? 10 hours? Hours. Okay, minutes. Okay, we've got 2 hours still. So if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. I can talk through 2 hours. So you can see we've got this data frame, and I can rename or change columns without touching the initial data frame I started with. And this is the pattern machine learning guys, Joseph and others, used for pipeline API. So we've got 10 minutes. Okay. So now we are crossing the boundary, and we will see integration of data frames from Spark SQL, and we are entering, shaky ground for me, because I'm very weak at, I'm very bad at machine learning. My understanding is nearly zero. The linear regression, feeding a model, there are some concepts, I try to grasp, but it's like, talking to me, and I don't understand it. Okay, and especially that I'm thinking, why did they come up with this names if they if they could name it just function or higher order function. Okay, so this pattern is heavily used in this pipeline API that's going to be available in Spark 2.0. And in Spark 2.0, they changed the foundation for algorithms and how they work. They created pipeline API and based this on data frames. And think of it, when they need to featureize your input data, or create a set of tokens, they add new column, so the debugging of the entire pipeline is easier. Why? Because you see what you started with, then you see all the columns that were added through this pipeline, and that's debugging. So eventually you will see 10 or 20 column data frame, and you can certainly select the columns you want, but you can just see the progress through all the columns that were added through transformations. Okay, got that? Okay, so let's see what we can do with this pipeline API. So let's first import, because it's not all imported. So mllib, OML, I believe. So when you see Spark mllib name, think about algorithms that were based on RDDs. They change it, or they are in the process of migrating to data frame based API. So now you will see more and more use of Spark ML to describe this new API. So whenever you see Spark ML, it's a pipeline API, while mllib is RDD based machine learning atop Spark core. Okay, so yeah, so I imported it. So I can create my pipeline. Okay, pipeline. Okay, it's as simple as this. So I created my pipeline. Pipeline is an estimator. It means that you can fit a model out of this pipeline, because it's supposed to create something meaningful, something that's created that's based on smaller pieces, and these smaller pieces are transformers first. So they tokenize your text, create tokens. They create term frequencies, and then they apply estimator that will create a model that you can apply to your input data, to data frames. So remember when we created this data frame, so this data frame looks like this. So it's ID and text, right? So this is my text. Let's create something more nice. So hello world, and another nice word. Okay, good. So I created my data frame. Okay, it looks like this. So if I said, please tokenize my text, what would you do? You could do something like with column tokenized, and then split text, and yeah, I did it. Good. So I tokenize my data frame, but hey, guess what? You should not be doing it this way, because there is a simpler way, but this simpler way is buried in is hidden in Spark ML. So when I say that, when I say use ML library, ML API, what would you think? Do I need machine learning for tokenizing my data frames? No. Yes, you do need it. Why? Because they created tokenizers to prepare data for the algorithms, for machine learning algorithms. And one of the many transformers is tokenizer, regex tokenizer, or just tokenizer. So look at this. So I create my tokenizer. Hope I can do it. Tokenizer, is it available? No. So it's in, wait a moment. Let me Spark, do I have it? Yeah, I have it. So just tokenizer. Where is this? In feature, okay. So I import my org, Apache, Spark, ML, and feature. Good, I did it. So now I can tokenize. Yes, okay. So let me create my tokenizer. So new tokenizer. Done. Okay. Now let's apply it to my data frame. So tokenizers are functions that accept a data frame and return another data frame. Let's use it. Tokenize, transform, and my data frame is like this. It's not going to work. Why? Because I haven't specified my input call. So let's do this. Let's follow the instructions. Let's call them instructions, okay? For now, you will soon love this way of talking to you. So input call, and this is text. You see, I just did what I needed, and this is machine learning. You see, it's so nice. When I discover it, I ask, the Spark developers, why did they put it, or why did they hide it behind this Spark ML, cover, if I may put it this way. They are working on, how to say, showing it to the world. But I'm quicker, and I'm showing you how to do it without them, doing this for you. So now you just import tokenizers, and you can use this. If you don't like this, the name of the column, the output column, how can you change it? Set output call. Yes, you know it. My way. Ta-da! I just did it. Now, without much thinking, you can also use that's called hashing TF. So hashing TF is a transformer that will hash and then compute term frequencies for your tokens. So let's do this. So, but before I do it, let's make our pipeline a little bit better. So pipeline and set stages and array and talk. Now I created my pipeline. So through pipelines, I can do something like this. It may look weird, but just accept that this is the way to do it. So pipeline is an estimator. An estimators need to feed to create a model. So they feed a model. So they produce another function. I would call this another function that will be a model that's transformer from data frame to data frame. So let's do this. So I'll do feed and I use my data frame. Okay. Let's see if it's gonna work. Oh, it worked. Okay. So it worked. So I created my model. So this is a pipeline model. Oh, let's call it model. So now with model is a function that accepts data frames, input data frames, and create another data frame. So without much thinking, I'm doing this. Transform and df. So then it worked. Yeah, I just created it. And the reason I'm showing it to you is that I know almost nothing about machine learning. I'm mastering machine learning through Apache Spark. But then I just discovered something I need for my transformations, for my data frame manipulations. And it's in Spark ML, so I look smarter. Now I can import Spark ML, and you think that I know anything in machine learning, which is not true. Not true at all. 1 hour? Okay, thank you. So we've got 1 hour. So do you have any questions? Yes, please. Scala is a great language. Yes, you're right.
I've heard that Scala is built using Maven and not SVT build. Is it true, and why?
I don't know. And the reason that might be the case, in Spark, let's face it. In Spark, when you wanna build your package, you are using Maven. But hey, developers use SBT. So Spark is an example of a project, a little bit broken project as far as build tools are concerned, that they need to use two build tools to, welcome others who hate SBT, and there are a few people who hate SBT. So SBT is a nice tool, but to face or to experience this enlightenment, to see the beauty of using SBT, you need to hate it first, and you need to hate it by heart. And after a month, if you are, I would say, if you progress with your hate, then love will, emerge. So you need to hate it first, and then love will come. And it's SBT. And you know what? Let's put it this way. Let's be honest. We are very lazy, but we are not lazy in Scala way, which is good. We should be lazy. We are lazy, and we don't want to spend our time to learn something, by heart. We just go to Google or Stack Overflow, copy, broken or old-fashioned way of solving our problems, and we are happy that we've got, solutions, and we can deliver. So SBT is just a nice piece of software. Very few people like, me including. And it's very tough to convince people to use SBT. So answering your question, it could be that SBT was not ready for this project when Spark when Scala was created or was developed. So I don't know. But I'm here if anybody wants help with SBT, I'm here to help, because I believe that that SBT is worth your time. And when you go to Just a shameless plug. Yeah, I know. When you go to Stack Overflow, you will see this tag SBT. Let's go to SBT. Yeah, to SBT, and as you see, info. I'm right behind Eugene, who's the maintainer of SBT. And I'm hoping that one time there'll be no bad answers in SBT channel or under SBT tag. So I'm whenever I see old-fashioned way of solving problems or problem, I'm replacing it with a new way just to help people see the beauty of SBT. So yeah. So this is all about SBT. So yeah.
Second question: when you start Spark Shell, I see that Scala 2.11 and Java JDK 1.8.
Yes.
So how come 1.8 is compatible with 2.11? I thought that is for Scala 2.12.
No. As a matter of fact, just this week, it started 2 weeks ago. They are discussing, Spark developers are discussing whether or not to ditch Java 7 as Oracle did with this release. So they are discussing whether Spark 2.0 should support Java 7 or not, and it's close. It's close to decide that Spark 2.0 will only support Java 8. So it's the only moment they can decide it. Why? Because just like Sean Owen from Cloudera put it, he said, if we don't do this today, we'll suffer for coming year or 2 years. So it's really probable to see Spark on Java 8, yes, Java 8. And Spark 2.0 is already using Scala 2.11. So Spark 2.0 is at the Scala 2.11 level, and they are just discussing whether supporting whether they'll support Java 8 or not, Java 7 or not. Yeah. As a matter of fact, just so you know it, Java 7 is no longer supported by Oracle. So hey, think about it. If you are still keeping Java 6 or 5, in your shop, just throw your papers and leave this place, because it's gonna bite you sooner or later. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, there's one here.
Yeah. Okay. Hi.
So first, because you're very happy with ml.pipeline,
Yes.
you'll probably be very happy with KeystoneML.org, which is the creators of the original. Yeah. So you'll be very happy. It looks much better than what you.
Oh, really?
Yes, it looks much better.
Okay. I heard about.
Just a little note so that you can enjoy yourself tonight, because I know you must find something to play with.
Yeah, definitely. But to be honest, just let me put it. I'm not gonna spend my time on Keystone ML. Sorry to say it, but I have very little time for Spark, and I'm creating this book. When you go to Bitly, another shameless plug. I know. So when you go to Mastering Apache Spark, you will see this book, and this book has already 600 pages, and I'm not in half my way into Apache Spark. So if I spend my time on learning something cool, really, I would lose my focus on Spark, which is the goal for 2016.
Good. So now my question. Speaking about Java 7, Java 8, and Spark 2, so I know that Spark is doing very fine-grained optimizations for how memory is managed.
Yes.
And Java 8 has ditched the old way of managing the memory.
Yep.
So can you give us like a little some information about how these will
influence Spark 2.0?
Yes.
Well, so the question is, we know that Spark manages its own memory through, they are generating, bytecode, and they try to squeeze, the data, as much as possible. So they are doing it on their own, and they do it because garbage collector is something they don't like much, and we know why, because it swipes your data and when you need it. So there and Java serialization is not very good at how to say, putting too much data in very how to say, thin frame. So they are creating it, and I had no worries or concerns with moving towards Java 8. So I believe your question is void, meaning that there is no problems with using Java 8 with the how to say, auto-generated memory management code. So I wouldn't be concerned, because they are not.
Do you see, apart from the development that's happening with Spark, do you also see other developments like Kafka or Cassandra contributing, or they also making changes parallel?
Yes. So what's your question?
The
Am I following the other development?
The other development, are they also upgrading it to the latest Spark 2.0, or it take long time after that?
Kafka and Spark have very little in common. So I know that data stacks with Cassandra connector, they are monitoring the space. So if Spark moves if Spark releases 2.0 with Java 8, they'll move as well, because it's inevitable to follow the leader of the game, and the leader is Spark. So others follow, right? So that'd be my question to this. Any other questions? Yeah.
I just have a simple question. But before that, I really like stuff.
Thank you.
Very methodical.
Thank you.
So my question is, how hard do you think CRUD support?
See what?
CRUD support. I only know you would update and delete.
Create, read, update, delete.
Yeah.
Why do you need it?
Because in rare case, I want to abuse it. And
Abuse it. You said abuse it. Oh, so they don't like it. So nobody likes to be abused. So Spark, including. So I haven't heard about CRUD.
You can follow up with him.
Yeah, after this
I
talk.
think people are starting to leave. So round of applause for our speaker tonight.
Thank you.
That's everything we had on for tonight. The next meetup is going to be the last Wednesday in April. It's being hosted at Loyalty One. And the topic is that Kanav had to Kafka meetup, as well as